Hi, I'm Christine Flynn. Thanks for joining me on this video where I want to give a few ideas on what to do this summer if your kids are bored and maybe they're bickering, maybe you're just getting bored of hearing your kids tell you they're bored, and some easy summer ideas of what you can do to keep them in the routine of school without committing to school. Now, we do kind of a lazy year-round homeschool in our family. It's worked for us for the past couple of years because what I've noticed is after about a month and a half off of school at the longest, my children start to bicker a lot and they start to bug me a lot, to watch a lot of TV, or they're trying to eat snacks constantly because they're bored. The freedom that comes with the summertime is really awesome at first, but maybe we don't remember as kids, it also gets kind of boring. And I can really remember my mom telling me during the summertime when I was a kid, it's good to be bored, which is true. Creativity stems from boredom. If we let that boredom stew long enough, kids and even grown-ups can really learn or create some cool ideas and have extra fun or be really creative if we let that boredom settle in. However, we also kind of need to keep a routine going. At least in our household, the kids get really antsy after a while. After that joy of freedom from the end of the school year kind of wears off, not having a routine, they start to get listless, lazy. Again, there's bickering, begging for things. So you have to strike a good balance in the summertime. So we decided in our household to start doing this kind of lazy year round. So we take some time off this year. We happen to take time off earlier in most of May and part of June because we were traveling. So we wound up 6 weeks in to our summer vacation now. I mean, it's only, we're a couple of days into the actual summer season, and we've already been out of school for about 6 weeks. So my kids are getting ready to kick back off on our lazy year-round routine. But if you personally aren't ready, and when I say lazy, I mean like we do school a couple days a week, maybe three, and then the rest of the time we're still, going to the pool, and we do pretty minimalist schooling anyway. So it only takes us a couple of hours max to teach three children their subjects. We do individual lessons for math and reading, and then we do family style when it comes to social studies or science and things like that. But if you are not a homeschooler or you're not ready to jump back into any type of school routine, but you still want to give your kids kind of like keeping their toes wet in academics, I've got a few ideas to give your kids some structure and academics during the summertime, but it's really minimalist and fun and easy and doesn't really feel like school for either you as a teacher or for your children. So the first thing that I noticed was a lot of fun this year was we in our homeschool, we just haven't really talked about the US states very much. Not yet anyway. So this summer, what I did is I picked one state for 6 weeks, every week, a new state. And I picked the states that had something to do with our family, right? Where our kids were born, Pennsylvania, where grandparents live, where we live now in Wisconsin, where their godfather lives in Colorado. And so I found a good quality living storybook on each of those 6 states. I also found, because my children are elementary school age, so I found these maze sheets that the maze is the shape of the state, and then it's a coloring sheet. So each page has, the state bird, the state vegetable, the state tree, flower, etc., all on there. And then I also found this great book about eating your way, cooking your way through the states in the United States. And for each state, it has 3 or 4 recipes that utilize either the recipe comes from the state, like cheesecake or ice cream sundaes, or it uses a state vegetable like sweet potato for North Carolina. And then we could make pick one of the recipes and make it together as a family. We also watched a short video for each of the states. And Homeschool Pop has a YouTube channel that has one video, relatively brief, less than 10 minutes, for each of the US states. So each week we watched a video, read a book, colored a coloring page, made a recipe. And that helped teach the kids their geography and some life skills, and also kept them, for younger kids, utilizing those fine motor skills, getting your reading time in every day. It worked out well for us for those 6 weeks. Also, it's only 6 weeks, only 6 states. You could do more or fewer than that. And we just did it. We didn't do every activity each one day. We kind of spread it out over a 3 or 4 day period. We'd read the book, maybe we'd watch the video, and then we'd make the recipe at the end of the week. That was a super simple way. So wherever you live, whether it's the United States or not, you can do geography and social studies in a similar format. Watch a video, make a recipe, read a book. Perfect. Also, summertime is a perfect time to teach some life skills to your kids. Over at thecatholicmama.com, I have a blog post entitled 18 Life Skills to do something for your kids. What is it? I'm going to find it right. My phone turned off. What is it? 18 life skills. Here we are, to teach your kids so they can become functioning, helpful, and independent members of society. And this is everything from the outdoor work like gardening to the inside, the home stuff like folding laundry or making the recipe for your state that you're choosing for that week. It can fall under that for life skills as well. Wash windows, clean the floors, fold laundry, bake, fill a bird feeder, make your own food, find and prepare a snack. So I put a whole blog post, 18 different things that you can teach your kids to make them more independent. So you can work on life skills or first aid. I brought out the first aid kit recently and laid out all the pieces on the table and showed my children what each one does, why you would use them, and where to find the first aid kit. So there's life skills that you can spend teaching your kids throughout the summer. It doesn't have to be anything formal. It can just be like, hey, if you like gardening today, hey, do you feel like making a bird feeder and filling it today? But if it is gardening or a bird feeder where you get the birds used to coming to your yard for food, you got to keep it up. It's not just a one and done type thing. So make sure that before you commit to any of these life skill things that you want to do it too long term. Also, another thing you can do is there are some great feast days during the summertime. Everything from St. John the Baptist's Nativity, which is June 24th, through there's a couple of Marian feast days in August and then in September as well. But there's tons in between. Feast days are so much fun for kids and really help to bring the faith to life. And so it doesn't feel like it's just constantly them having to read about it or being lectured about the faith. This is where it comes to life. It has more of a party atmosphere. There's usually food and snacks involved. There could be games. And the summertime, again, it's the ordinary time, but it has some really good feast days in there as well. I have the Domestic Church, which is a monthly like Patreon type membership for those who want to support the Catholic Mama podcast. And each month I do a minimalist liturgical celebration idea. So for July, for an instance, in 2021, we'll be covering Saint Maria Goretti, which is a pretty tough saint to talk about with young children because she was assaulted and murdered. However, her story really is a beautiful one, and it talks about redemption and forgiveness and the love of God. And there's, of course, always food because she's Italian. So there's pasta to be eaten. There's a craft to be completed, and also some ideas of how to broach these tough topics with your own children. So that's part of the Domestic Church. You can go to thecatholicmama.com and find out more about that, or just look around for some good Catholic bloggers. Kendra Tierney always, of course, has so much about living the Catholic life, the Catholic liturgical calendar, and so many great ideas. So she's definitely a go-to. Barefoot Abbey, also very good on Instagram. She has shared some great, more traditional liturgical celebrations, which I really appreciate as well. And then there's Lazy Liturgical Jenny Hines. She was on the podcast a while ago talking about her coloring pages that are like print and go, super minimalist, to help parents celebrate the feast days of the Catholic saints in the church without feeling overwhelmed, because there's like a saint every single day. So it can get a little overwhelming. But I would say those three ideas, focusing on a geographical area that means something to you and your kids, learning life skills, and then growing in faith over the summertime by taking the time to celebrate those feast days on the Catholic calendar are three ways that you can kind of bring some academics and bring some structure into your summertime days and help cut down on the boredom and the bickering and the boredom eating and all that stuff. Get them out of the kitchen, get them out of the house, or get them into the kitchen to do some cooking with you and learn some life skills. So I hope that helps for your summertime. We are back in school ourselves in the Flynn household. I wasn't quite ready for it, but there we are. So if you do year-round homeschooling, I actually do like it because it does give us regular breaks, and without us feeling overwhelmed all the time. And we get to take longer breaks at like Easter and Christmas and stuff because we do this earlier easing in to the school year by starting in the summertime. That's on for you. I hope these tips help, and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss these episodes.